everyone to this second edition of Gentle Flow Yoga with Kelly. I hope everyone is well and safe and comfortable in their homes and in our self-isolation mode. So let's start by coming to lying flat on our backs, on our mats, taking this opportunity to practice together yoga, allowing ourselves to be calmed and nurturing our bodies and our souls. So just making yourself comfortable lying on your mat. Let's just take a few moments here settling into our bodies, calming our mind, bringing ourselves into this present moment, pushing aside any thoughts that may want to enter. We want to be fully present for the next hour. So just take a few breaths here in and out through your nose. Start to get in touch with your body by feeling the contact points it's making with your mat, starting at the feet, noticing where the back of the ankles are touching, the back of the calves, perhaps the thighs and the buttocks, noticing how that curve of the lower back prevents the spine from touching, and moving along, feeling where the center of the torso touches down between the shoulder blades, along the shoulder blades, the back of the shoulders, down the arms, noticing how the arms are touching the mat or the floor, the palms open towards the sky or face down towards the center of the earth, not changing anything, but just bringing that awareness to how your body is currently lying. And then moving along, noticing how the back of the neck is prevented from touching the mat, and how the weight of that head is touching at the back of the skull. Trying to bring some relaxation into every muscle within the body, including the head and the face. Just taking a couple more breaths here. In and out through the nose, following the breath as it enters and leaves the body. And now bending those knees, bringing the soles to rest on the mat. Bringing both knees in towards the chest. You can reach those arms around the shins. Just feeling now how that lower back, that lumbar spine is pressed into the mat. We reduce that lordotic curve by bringing our knees in towards our chest. And now placing one hand on either knee, and we'll do some hip circles here. We'll open those legs in opposite direction. One leg is moved clockwise while the other leg is moved counterclockwise. Just getting some movement through the hips. Moving nice and slow here. again, changing direction. And now bringing both knees together and moving those legs one direction as a unit. It's just a subtle movement. And now changing direction. Be present with the movement. And now coming back to center, let the feet place down onto the mat, knees stay bent, keeping the legs hip distance apart. You can extend those arms out wide. Let's windshield wiper those legs, so dropping those knees over to one side, keeping the shoulders on the mat, back up to center, over to the other side. We're just getting some gentle movement now through the spine. This is just a gentle twist here. Keep breathing. Notice where you feel this movement in the body. It's what keeps you grounded and present as you move through your practice. Using that breath to aid the movement. Breathing in and breathing out. And we'll do one more on each side here before coming back to bringing those legs in center. Extend those arms out towards the sky, shoulder width apart, palms are facing one another. Inhale, and as you exhale, extend those arms up overhead, reaching towards the wall over your head. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, arms come down towards the floor overhead. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, those arms towards the floor. Inhales are typically done as you move away from the earth. Exhale is as you move towards the earth. Inhaling, the arms up, away from the ground. Exhaling, the arms come down towards the floor overhead. We'll just do two more. And last one. And now release those arms down towards the floor. Roll onto one side. Press yourself up. Coming to seated. Coming into easy pose. You can grab a block and place this under your hips if you like. Keeping those legs open. The knees are dropped towards the floor. Spine is long and straight. Inhale, that right arm up overhead. Exhale, come into a side body bend. Just feeling the stretch through the side of the body. Keep breathing. Both hip bones are firmly planted on the floor. You can turn the gaze up towards the sky. Inhale that arm up, exhaling that arm down towards the floor. Inhale, the left arm comes up, exhale for a side body bend here. gaze is up towards the sky, if that's comfortable for your neck. Only doing what movements feel good for your body. Never rushing. Always honoring the limitations of your own body. Inhaling that arm back to center, exhaling to release. From here, inhale, both arms up overhead. As you exhale, turn the body towards the left leg. Exhale, the hands come down towards the floor, right hand in front, forward up the knee, the left hand behind, adjacent to the left hip. The spine reaches over towards the left leg, the gaze is forward. Keeping a soft bend in the elbows, looking towards the floor, feeling the stretch through the back, side body on the right hand side. Keep breathing. Inhaling, rising up to center. Pausing here. Inhale, turn to the right. Exhale, release the hands towards the mat. The fingertips rest on the floor. Elbows are bent softly. Leaning that chest towards that right knee. Feeling the stretch through the side body on the left hand side this time. And then taking one more breath here, inhaling it up, back to center. Release the arms, bring the hands together, press the palms firmly. The backs of the palms now touch. Palms together. Pressing the palms open. And now the backs of the hands. We'll do a quick rolling of the wrists as we are preparing to get into some cat-cow, some figure eights, downward facing dog. Good, and then releasing those hands towards the mat, coming onto our hands and knees, coming into a neutral tabletop here. The wrists are stacked under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Inhale, let's do some figure eights. So leaning over towards one side, forward, then the other side, coming back to the opposite hip, creating a figure eight with your movement, with your body. And then coming back to center, and then changing direction. And we'll do one more figure eight before coming back to center. Moving into our cat-cow next. So from here, our neutral tabletop, we inhale, drop our belly. Our gaze is up towards the sky. The tailbone is lifted. This is our cow. As we exhale, we roll through the spine, tucking our tailbone under, the chin towards the chest, coming into cat. Exhaling and inhaling with the movement. We inhale for our cow as we exhale into our cat. Inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Taking 2 more rounds of cat-cow before coming back to a neutral tabletop. Let's move into threading the needle next. So from here we inhale that right arm up towards the sky. As we exhale, that right arm comes through under the left, bringing our right shoulder towards the mat, or right ear is resting on the mat. If that's comfortable for you, you can always use a block to rest your head on. Or you can even use the block for your shoulder, your choice. Take one more breath here before exhaling, pressing through that left hand, reaching that right arm up towards the sky, and then releasing it to the mat. Move on to thread the needle on the left side. So inhale that left arm up towards the sky. Follow up with your gaze. As you exhale, sweeping that left arm through under the right arm. Pressing in towards the mat with that right hand. Feeling the stretch through the back of the shoulder, the side body. Making sure there's no strain on your neck. Take one more breath here before exhaling, pressing through that right hand, bringing the left arm up towards the sky before placing it flat on the mat. Curling those toes under, coming into downward facing dog. Pedaling out those hips, those legs, feeling the stretch. Those arms are shoulder width apart. The spine is long, the chest is pressing towards the thighs, really pressing towards the mounds of the fingers. Taking any movement you feel you need in your downward facing dog. Coming up on your toes, bending the knees deeply. It's your choice. Just getting some movement, feeling the pose, breathing. And now taking a breath in, and as you exhale, step towards the front of your mat, coming into standing forward fold. Reaching for a block if you like. Letting the head and neck relax. The shoulders are hanging heavy, the arms. Now you can grasp either elbow and gently sway from side to side. Just feeling the stretch through the back of the legs. Releasing those hands towards the mat. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Hands can be placed on the thighs. The shoulders are rolled back, squeezing the shoulder blades together and down the spine. The gaze is forward towards the floor. Spine is long and straight. Weight is towards the balls of your feet. Keep breathing. Take a breath in and exhale, standing forward fold. Let the arms release down towards the mat. Bend the knees deeply and slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time, to standing. Roll those shoulders back. Inhale to mountain pose. The arms are long and active, spine is strong and straight. The legs are engaged. Bring the hands together, standing forward fold. We'll just pause for a breath or two here. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, release the hands to the mat. Let's come into a plank on the knees. We'll just stay here. Make sure you're pressing away through the mat. No collapsing, no dropped shoulders. Strong, pressing the eyes of the elbows forward. And take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower down, keeping the elbows tucked in towards the side of the body, coming down to lying flat on your belly. We'll move into just a very low cobra here. Keep the hands under the shoulders, the tops of the feet are pressing in towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest and head up off the mat. By keeping those feet, the tops of the feet pressing in towards the floor. Take some breaths here. And exhale, release. Tuck the toes under, press yourself up, coming up onto the knees. And then inhale. As you exhale, downward facing dog. So keep pedaling up the legs. Keep that chest pressing towards the thighs. Spine is long and straight. And breathe in. As you exhale, look forward and step towards the front of your mat. We'll do that sun salutation one more time. Inhale to a halfway lift. Pause here for a round of breath. Inhale, and as you exhale, standing forward fold. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, rising up to standing. Inhaling into mountain pose. Bring the hands together. Inhale. Exhale, standing forward fold. Pausing for a breath. Inhaling, halfway lift. We'll pause for a round of breaths. Inhale, and as you exhale, let's come down into our knee plank. Making sure the hips are not dropped. The booty's not up in the air. You want a nice flat back. You want your knees to the top of your head, one line. Keeping the shoulders pressed away from the mat. Take a breath in here, bend those elbows, and slowly lower down. Try not to collapse down onto the mat. Moving into cobra next, so keep those hands placed on the floor, tops of the feet press into the mat. Inhale, lifting up, just a slight lifting of that upper body. You'll feel your spine muscles engaging. You're creating strength through those supporting spinal muscles that help your core. Taking one more breath before exhaling. Releasing the chest, press yourself up to a kneeling position. Curl those toes under, and let's come into downward facing dog. Pedaling out those legs, keeping some movement. Take a breath in here. Look forward. As you exhale, come to standing step towards the front of your mat.
standing forward fold. Bend those knees deeply, and from here, rise all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders back. Let's move into chair pose next. Make sure you have a block. And if you don't have a block, that's okay. Just make sure you keep your knees hip distance apart. Place the block between your knees. It just helps to give you can squeeze that block as we move into chair pose. From here, we sit back in our imaginary chair, squeezing the block together. Options are to keep those legs wide without a block, or you can bring the legs together without a block. Your choice. Arms can reach up overhead, or you can keep those arms at your waist or just out in front at shoulder height, your choice. Look down, make sure the weight is in your heels. You should be able to see your toes. You want to be sitting right back. The weight is in the back of the heels. Inhale, and as you exhale, that right arm comes back. Turn to follow that right arm. Inhale, that right arm back to center. Breathe in. Exhale, the left arm goes back. Inhale, pull that left arm back to center. Take a breath in, exhale, both arms back, our airplane wings here. Inhale, those arms back to center. Come up on those tippy toes. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And come to standing, drop the heels. Bring our arms down to heart center. Good job. Good work. Okay. Take some breaths here. You can shake those legs out. That was some pretty tough work there. So let's move into our warrior series next. Come to standing at the front of your mat. Inhale into mountain pose. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, come down to the knee plank. We'll just pause here again. Make sure you're pressing away, not collapsing through the shoulders. And as you exhale, keep the elbows tucked in tight, lowering down towards the mat. Uncross the legs, press the hands, let the hands rest on the mat. Inhale to cobra. Tops of the feet are pressing in towards the floor. Inhale, and as you exhale, release the chest and head towards the floor. Press up into a tabletop. Curl the toes under and come into downward facing dog. From here, we'll inhale that right leg high. Open that hip, coming into our three-legged dog. So you're trying to stack that right hip over that left hip. Keep breathing. Both hands are firmly planted on the mat. The gaze is still as if both legs were on the floor between the knees. Come back into our extended leg. And from here, inhale. As you exhale, step that right leg through towards the front of the mat. We're in our low lunge now. Plant that left hand on the mat or on a block. On the inside of that right foot, you can drop that left knee down onto the mat if you like. Lots of choices here. Inhale that right arm up towards the sky. Trying to stack those shoulders, turn the gaze to look up towards the sky. Inhale, and as you exhale, release that right hand to the mat. And if you can keep that left leg lifted still, we're going to rise up into our crescent lunge here. From here, we inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. So the front knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. Our body is facing forward. Our arms are up overhead. You can always rest your hands on that right thigh. Again, that left knee can be dropped on the mat. Choice is yours. Keep breathing. And inhale, exhale, release those hands towards the mat. Place that left foot firmly on the mat as we prepare to move into warrior one. So the heels are in alignment, the right heel with the left heel or wider. Inhale, rise up to standing. The front knee is still bent at a 90-degree angle. The left foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Turn that left foot to whatever is comfortable for that ankle. Remember, this is your practice. The arms are reaching up overhead. Palms are facing one another. Keep breathing. Make sure the hips are pointed towards the front, that short edge of your mat. Inhale, and then as you exhale, release those arms. Straighten that front leg. We'll move into our pyramid pose next. So the front leg is straight, that right leg. Now you can reach those hands behind your back and grasp your elbows. Again, the hips are facing forward. We inhale, and as we exhale, we reach forward, leaning with our chest towards that straight knee. Again, don't lock the knee. Have a nice micro bend in that right knee. Only going as low as you can that's comfortable while keeping a straight back. Options here are to reach towards your block. If you have two blocks, you can have a block on either side of your foot. Take another round of breath here. Before your next inhale, you rise up to standing. Release those arms. Pivot the back foot. We'll move into warrior two next. So now that left foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Heels are still aligned or wider. The right leg is bent, and now the hips are turned towards the long edge of your mat. Those arms are extended out at shoulder height. Not leaning forward, not leaning back. Your hips are under those shoulders. Everything is stacked. Only the gaze is forward towards the wall, pointed towards those bright fingers. Inhale now into reverse warrior. So keeping that right knee bent, that left arm can reach down along that left leg or throwing in a half bind by bringing that left arm behind your back. Right arm is up towards the sky. Gaze is up if you like. Trying to keep the shoulders towards that long edge of the mat. You can take some opportunities as you go through your movements. If you like, sometimes if you do a heart opening with this pose and you bring the right shoulder back, notice where you feel that in your body. Notice how those subtle movements
Activate different muscles. Inhaling back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, pivot that right foot. We'll come into our wide-legged forward fold. Turn the palms up towards the sky. The feet are parallel towards one another. The stance is long and wide. Inhale, look up towards the sky. As you exhale, hinge from the hips with a flat back, coming into wide-legged forward fold. Your hands can reach down towards a block, depending on your flexibility, or towards the floor. Remember, this is your practice. Plant that left hand on the floor under your nose. Inhale that right arm up towards the sky, coming into a wide-legged forward fold with a twist. Making sure the weight is not sitting back in the heels. You want the weight distributed evenly on those feet. Inhale, exhaling that right hand back to the mat. Plant that right hand, inhaling that left arm up towards the sky. Following it with your gaze, if that's comfortable for your neck. Taking a breath in here before exhaling, releasing that left hand towards the mat, extending both arms out at shoulder height, or you can place the hands on the knees and bend the knees and roll up to standing. Otherwise, with those arms out at shoulder height, engage the core, rise up with a flat back, release the hands. Heel toe those feet back together. Good. Shake it out. Come to standing at the front of your mat. We'll be doing one side, we do on the other. So we'll move on to the left side now. Inhaling those arms up overhead, coming into mountain pose. Inhaling those hands together. Exhale, standing forward fold. We'll just pause here. Pressing the chest towards the thighs. Just breathing. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Again, now the weight is shifted forward to the front of the feet, to the balls of the feet. Shoulders are squeezed together, rolling down along the back there. Spine is long and straight. And now exhaling, drop the hands towards the mat, coming into our kneeled plank pose. Again, really pressing through the arms, through the shoulders. We'll hold this pose here for a couple of breaths, really engaging the abdominals here. Taking a breath in, and as you exhale, bending the elbows, keeping those elbows tight against the rib cage, lowering down, coming onto our bellies on the mat, moving into cobra next, so pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, lifting the head and chest up off the mat. Couple more breaths here. Exhaling, curling the toes under, lifting yourself up to tabletop. Curling the toes under and scooting those hips up into a downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, walking out your dog, pressing the chest towards the thighs, reaching long through the arms, pressing in towards the balls of the fingers, gazes between the knees. And now inhaling,
that left leg up towards the sky, opening up that hip, coming into our three-legged dog, fire hydrant, stacking the hips best you can, keeping the weight on both hands, and bringing that leg back to center. Inhaling and bringing, as you exhale, bring that leg in, stepping forward to the front of the mat. Options here are to drop that right knee down towards the mat or to stay with that right leg lifted. You can bring a block to place under that right hand as we move into a twist. Inhaling that left arm up towards the sky. Taking one more breath here before exhaling, releasing that left hand towards the mat. We'll rise up to a crescent lunge. Inhale, lifting up. Bringing those arms up overhead or letting them rest on that left thigh. That right leg can be lifted, facing forward. The left leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. Shoulders are soft, gaze is forward. Take another breath in here. Exhale, release those hands down towards the mat. Plant that right foot as we prepare for warrior one on this side. Inhale, rise up to standing. Arms come up overhead. That right foot is firmly planted. The hips are facing forward, not off to the side. No turning. Really activating those adductor muscles, the inner thigh. Keep breathing. Inhaling, exhaling, those arms down, straightening that front leg as we move into pyramid on this side. And you can clasp those arms behind your back or have your block ready to reach for as you reach forward. Inhaling, creating some length, and as you exhale, hinging at the hips, reaching your torso towards that left leg. Only going as far as you can. Again, option here is to reach towards the block. If you have blocks, you can have one on either side. Keep a nice micro bend in that left knee. No locked knees. Inhaling, rising back to standing. Let's move into warrior two next. So make that adjustment with that back foot. The right foot is now parallel with the short edge of the mat. The hips now turn towards the long edge of your mat. The body faces sideways. That left knee is facing forward, stacked over the ankle. You should be able to see that big toe. You don't want to be collapsing in. You want to really engage the whole leg, building strength. Extend those arms out at shoulder height. The gaze is forward over that left middle finger. Strong warriors here. Take a couple more breaths here before we move into our reverse warrior. And after your next exhale, as you inhale, drop that right hand down towards that right thigh. Left arm comes up towards the sky, or throwing in the half bind, your choice. Keeping those shoulders facing that
long edge of the mat. Again, playing around, noticing how the different movements feel in the body. If you were to open that left shoulder, reaching your heart towards the sky, noticing where you feel that movement. Taking another breath here. At your next inhale, rising back to warrior two, straightening that front leg, pivoting that left foot now as we move into wide-legged forward fold on this left side, releasing those arms, intertwining those fingers behind your back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, coming into our wide-legged forward fold with the shoulder stretch, only doing this if this feels good for your shoulders. Inhale, look up towards the sky. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, lead with a flat back, coming forward, letting the head and neck hang. And if you like, reaching those shoulders over your head towards the floor. Again, not sitting back in the heels in this pose, making sure the weight is equally distributed throughout the whole foot. Keep breathing, noticing where you feel each of these poses in your body. Where do you feel it? At the next inhale, engaging that core, rising up with a flat back or soft knees and rolling up. Release those hands, shake out the shoulders, heel toe those feet back to center and shake it out. Good job. Good job, everybody. Well, we've come to our balance series next. Everyone's favorite, I know. So let's start with tandem pose. So grounding that left foot in the mat. Step the right foot forward, bringing the heel to touch the toes. Again, this pose has lots of options. You can keep that space wider, or you can widen the stance. So your choice. Really engage the glutes and the quads here. You're really creating strength through this leg. You're really activating through the ankle muscles. Bring those hands across the body. Right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. You can look up towards the sky, or you can close those eyes, perhaps one eye at a time, just challenging your balance. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Take one more breath before opening the eyes, releasing those arms and uncrossing the legs there. Shake it out. Let's move on to the other side. So ground that right foot into the mat. The left foot steps in front, heel to toe. Lots of options again. As what you did on the other side, you can do on this side. Usually one side is a bit more balanced than the other. Bringing those hands to cross across your chest. Engaging that right leg, the glutes, the quads, and through the calf, the ankle. And if you like, you can close one eye and then the other. Keep breathing. Take one more round of breath here before opening the eyes. If you have them closed, release those arms And separate those legs, shaking it out. Okay, so we'll move into Warrior 3 next. And Warrior 3, again, lots of options for you. So for Warrior 3, ground the left foot into the mat. For this one, make sure you are near a wall or a sturdy surface that you can hold on to. So I'll demonstrate the full pose to start with. So the left foot is grounded into the mat. You extend that right leg back as you extend those left arms forward. Making sure the right foot is flexed, toes are pointing down towards the floor. So that's the option there. What you can do is ground the left foot into the mat and extend that left leg out and try to play around with letting go of a cabinet or a wall, or you can keep those arms out and just play with lifting that foot just a little bit off the floor. Your choice. You've got lots of choices. Find what works for you for your stabilizing to challenge your balance. Take one more breath here before exhaling and releasing. Shake it out. Ground that right foot into the mat. And again, find that place that challenges your balance. If you fall out, come back in. Take one more breath before releasing. Shake it out. Good job. Okay. Okay. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, standing forward fold. Now let's just pause here in our standing forward fold. Just feeling that nice stretch through the lower back, through the back of the hamstrings. Inhaling to a halfway lift. And after your next exhale, release the hands to the mat. We're going to come to sitting on the floor. We'll move into both toes next. Coming onto our elbows. Our palms are face down, about shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, place the soles of the feet flat on the mat. Try not to sink too much into your shoulders, into the arms. Try to stay lifted. Inhale, lift those legs up. Now you can just lift them a little bit up off the mat if you like. It's your choice. You can keep them bent at a 90-degree angle, making sure you don't feel any strain in your lower back. Or you can extend those legs long at a bit of a pike. Now you want to feel this in your abdominals. Often you can feel them in your hip flexors, so play around with where you need to position your upper body to really engage the abdominal muscles. And you can adjust where your legs, where you feel it the deepest. Just play around with it. That's what's so beautiful about yoga. It's all about noticing where you feel it in your body. Take one more breath. And exhale, release those legs down towards the mat. Good job. Now let's come into a side plank. Turn onto the right side. Coming on to keep staying on that elbow. Elbow is stacked under the shoulder. You want that right hip on the floor. The right knee is bent. From here, where you're going to press up, that left foot is anchoring your body, and you can extend that left arm up towards the sky. So imagine someone is pulling a string and lifting your hip towards the sky. So you don't want to be rotated. You want to be perfectly flat. Inhaling, keeping those hips lifted up towards the sky. And exhale and release that right hip down towards the mat. The left arm comes down. Let's come onto our backs. Bring those knees in towards the chest. Gently rock from side to side. And then coming up to sitting, let's move on to our plank on the other side. So placing that left arm, the elbow on the mat, the right leg is extended, that left knee is bent. Inhaling, lifting that right hip now towards the sky. That right arm comes up towards the sky. You can turn your gaze up to the sky. Again, imagining someone has attached a rope to the top of your hip and is lifting you up. Taking one more breath before releasing that left hip to the floor. That right hand comes down onto the mat. Roll onto your back. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Gently rocking from side to side. Rock yourself up to a seated position. And if you have a strap, you can use your strap to loop around the balls of your feet. Or you can just extend, making sure you're sitting on both sit bones. Extend those arms up overhead. Legs are long and straight. Heels are pressing forward. Toes are reaching towards your knees. Inhale, pressing forward, hinging at the hips, reaching forward towards the toes. Or you can loop the strap around the ball of the feet and reach the chest towards the toes. Trying to keep a long, straight back. Not pulling hard, just enough to give a gentle stretch through the back of the hamstrings. Taking one more breath, inhaling, rising up, releasing the strap if you have it, bending that right knee, placing the sole of the foot on the inside of that left thigh, inhaling, those arms up overhead, exhaling, reaching towards that left foot. Noticing how this feels different with one leg bent. Inhaling those arms up overhead, bringing that right leg up, straightening the left leg, bending the left knee, placing the sole of the foot on the inside of the right thigh. Inhaling those arms up overhead, exhaling, reaching forward over towards the toes. Not pulling, just resting gently. Again, you can always use a strap. Inhaling those arms up overhead, releasing the arms down, bringing that right Legs straight, bend, left leg straight, bending the right knee, crossing it over the left. You can keep that left leg straight, or you can bend it around. We'll move into our sage twist here. Inhaling those arms up overhead, turning towards the right, bringing that left arm to hook around the right knee. The right hand reaches back and is behind that right hip, pressing your chest forward. Spine is nice and straight. Breathing in through the spinal twist. Inhaling back to center, uncrossing those legs. And now bending the right knee, tucking that one in, crossing the left leg over. Inhaling those arms up overhead, bringing the right elbow to hook onto that left knee. The left hand is behind that left hip. Spine is long and straight. Trying to open through the shoulders. Inhaling back to center, unraveling the body, coming to lying on your back. Let's move into supine pigeon, keeping both knees bent, cross the right leg, ankle over that left thigh. And then if you like, reaching through with your hands to grasp that left thigh, pressing to deepen the stretch on that right knee. You can press with your elbow or you can press with your hand. Just gently, just to deepen the stretch, whatever feels good for your body. And then dropping that left leg towards the floor and crossing the right, crossing the left ankle over that right thigh, and moving into supine pigeon on the other side, bringing that right leg in towards the chest, and you can press again, opening that left knee with your hand, with your elbow. Taking one more breath here before releasing that right foot towards the floor and crossing the right. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Gently rock from side to side. Plant the left foot on the mat. Roll the right ankle one direction. Change direction. Point and flex the foot. Release the right foot to the mat. Bring that left leg in towards the chest. Roll that left ankle one direction. Then change direction. Pointing and flexing that foot. Bring that left foot towards the mat. And let's come into our final resting posture, our Shavasana. So grab whatever you feel you need to keep you warm and comfortable. Let the legs flop open wide to the edges of your mat. Allow your palms to face up towards the sky if that feels comfortable for you. You can close your eyes, settle in. And now allow yourself just to reap all the benefits of all that hard work you did through your practice. And now surrender into the stillness. Start to deepen your breathing. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Bringing movement back into the body. Perhaps gently rocking your head from side to side. And then reaching those arms overhead as you reach your toes away from you, giving yourself a nice full body stretch. And then rolling onto one side and pausing in your supported fetal position here. Just taking a few breaths, and when you feel ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes closed or your soft gaze. Bring your hands to heart center. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. The divine in me honors and bows to the divine in you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Be kind, be safe, and be well.